Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Off the Rack. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
Oh, boy. We're talking about comic books, and we're having a special guest coming today.
Woo.
That's right. Christian Ward,
Woo.
author of the upcoming Event Horizon prequel series, Mighty W, is dropping by the show. We're going to talk about that a little bit, and I'm very excited about that because I have fond recollections of Event Horizon. I have seen it more recently than probably most at this point. And I can say that the movie...
It has its moments.
Might be the best thing Paul W.S. Anderson has ever made. But the concept behind it is also like, hey, wow, like that's a really great idea. And I think everybody, upon seeing it, goes, oh, I want to see that story that they said happened.
Yes.
And that's what this book is.
Yes.
So that's exciting. And it's like, oh, that's the only thing I'd want to see from Event Horizon again is a prequel to it. Especially since they're not like, you know, there's a better version of it somewhere.
The movie?
Of the movie that like they, you know, screened and it didn't, people were like, yikes, this is going to be like an NC-17 kind of movie. So we got to make sure to dial it back. All the original footage is gone, all that stuff. So like, who knows? I question that, but I also get that sometimes happens. But yeah, so
That's
I'm excited
amazing.
to talk to Christian and hype up that book because I got a chance to actually read the first issue, and it's really cool. It's very cool. I think it's better than the first movie. You know.
I heard that.
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of things in the news. Number one,
it's Usagi Tsukino's birthday.
That's right. I mean, that's really what we're here to talk about is the fact that, like, according to the Deke dub of the original Sailor Moon cartoon, anime, I guess I should say, Usagi says that June 30th is her birthday.
And what a great day it is.
Yes. Hopefully she's having a good one.
Queen. Happy birthday, Queen.
That's right. That's right. So shout out to Usagi. But also...
I don't know what else could possibly top that.
I know. Two things that I heard recently. One is the rumor out there that the new Ultimate Universe is ending soon. That despite the fact that Marvel put significant money and promotion and talent behind the rollout of their new Ultimate Universe, that it has a timeline. And as I understand it, obviously it did. Like, there's a ticking clock element to the story, but that supposedly it'll end sooner rather than later, like within the year, like within the next year.
So do you mean that a Jonathan Hickman creation
from Marvel,
in which he has created like a little pocket area where a whole bunch of new crazy things can occur, but he has a timeline where he would like to end it, is now coming to an end.
That's right.
Now, see, Marvel famously, if you will, will not let that happen.
Yes. And I imagine this is one of those times where I'm like, yeah, don't let that happen. But then I read Ultimate Incursion or Invasion #1, like, Cody Ziegler, Dennis Camp book.
Yes.
And no, if it's gonna look like that, then let it end, because yikes. But also, thankfully, forgivably, the only thing that was ruined in that issue was Ultimate Spider-Man. It wasn't that Black Panther or Peach Momoko's X-Men or any of the other great Ultimate titles were even referenced outside of Ultimates. But I wonder. I mean, because people have favorably compared it to the Absolute Universe, and
well, it's easy to make that.
Well, yeah, it's two brand new start from
from
scratch universes that have fresh reimaginings of the characters that they're famous for.
Admittedly, I mean, Marvel had done Ultimate before, and so Absolute's a little behind.
Yes. The idea of DC making an Ultimate Universe themselves. I mean, they did do the Earth 1 books, which were hit and miss, and also were original graphic novels. And that's really their problem, and we don't have time to get into the Ultimate DC of it, or the Earth 1 of it, where you were really doing two initiatives. You were doing a fresh, new Ultimate version of your characters, but also you were rolling out with like an original graphic novel initiative. Like, you can't put two in one. They did, and it kind of worked, but I think there's a reason why they don't do it anymore, and it's because it just doesn't work in the same way. You can't just... Can you imagine if the Ultimate Universe had rolled out with just original graphic novels instead of series and miniseries? The Ultimates famously hurt the entire Ultimate line, not just for being terrible, but also because the books themselves, the Ultimates line, were so delayed.
Yeah.
And everything kind of hinged on them. And so as a result, like, everything kind of had to be put on hold until Ultimates 2 and 3 came out. Now, thankfully, those books are terrible, and the less said about them, the better.
Right.
But, I digress. So, that's an interesting notion that, like, while Absolute is just getting started and things are going great and everyone's happy, and you got two completely new fan bases, you got the people who love the original DC universe. They even got a book just to give them a kind of comprehensive timeline. Just that came out last week. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But also the new fans are like, thank you. I now have a gigantic Batman to be excited about. And more. There's an absolute Martian Manhunter everyone's salivating over. I can't wait to talk about that as well. But I can't imagine being like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you like this? Did you like Absolute Wonder Woman? Because it's ending in a year.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. We were only doing this one thing. In a line-wide initiative that features characters that never age or die. Like, what?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I feel like Absolute right now, the way it's been set up, has a little more room to grow. And Ultimate definitely was like, we're in a box. And when we reach the end of that box, it's going to be done.
I never got the impression that the Ultimate Universe was going to end.
Interesting.
I never got that impression. I did get the impression that, like, Absolute, I think, had more writing on the walls that it would end because A, universe created by Darkseid. B, it's directly connected to a DC event. And so as a result, you imagine that, like, I guess then they're going to meet and fight, and then one universe will die and the other universe will roll on.
I guess that's true. But I mean, I also imagine DC as like a place where there's more universes that all exist at the same time.
Yeah, I think I don't know who has more universes at this point. DC certainly pre-Spider-Man has the market on multiverses.
Yeah, I guess the Spider-Man of it all kind of.
But not only that, the what if universe, like all of Marvel had really played up the multiverse in a very casual way and in a very Marvel way by monetizing it. Whereas with DC, it was like, well, no, we're all about multiverses. Look at Crisis. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. But also it's barely penetrable unless you're like a hardcore classic DC fan. Whereas with Marvel, it's like, hey, what if Hulk killed Wolverine in that one story from forever ago that you didn't read? Oh, I guess that sounds cool.
Like, you know what it is? I guess, like, in my head, like, DC references and utilizes more of their multiversal 100%. Characters.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like,
they're full-blown teams of multiversal characters. Whereas in the Marvel universe, they're mostly relegated to spiders.
Yeah.
That's only because of that movie.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
and so, like, that's why in my head, like, DC had more room for Absolute to continue going.
Yeah.
And the last time the Ultimate Universe happened, it collapsed.
Yeah, but only under the weight of ineptitude. It wasn't that, like, they chose to end it. It was that they were like, we've just broken it beyond repair.
Right.
At this point, it's a teardown rather than a restore.
But it's got good bones.
It has great bones. And Hickman's like, throw the bones away. I'm not going to use those. We're not making a stew here.
Well, you don't make a stew from bones. You make a stock.
There we go. So, yeah, I caution them against it, but I also understand. I mean, look, if Hickman wants to, like, just be the clockmaker of the Marvel universe, that's fine. But also, don't stop writing Ultimate Spider-Man, for God's sake. Nobody wants to see anything else.
It's true.
So, yeah,
right.
It's some interesting news. But before we roll on, I think we have to have a little chat. So, Tiffany, thank you for being here. We'll see you in a minute.
Well, I mean, you make sure you give your guests a second.
I will, yeah, to get comfy,
to get prepped.
Yes, exactly. I'll have to offer them a Fresca or something.
You don't even have a Fresca.
I don't. I have no Fresca to offer. But yeah. So, folks, without further ado, I'm so excited to welcome, for the first time ever on this channel, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello and give us a warm ComicPop welcome to Christian Ward. Welcome to the show, Christian. Thank you for being here.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Spot on. No problem, man.
Brilliant. Excellent. Thank you for having me. Thrilled to be here.
Oh, absolutely. Great admirer of your work. Thank you so much for taking the time. I understand that it may be a little late where you are.
It's the midnight hour. We're about 10 minutes away from the midnight hour, but it's all good. It's all good.
Oh, excellent.
I mean, it's the best time to be talking about horror, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's tough to talk horror at like 7:30 in the morning. You know? But yeah, right at the midnight hour. That's really when horror gets rolling. I got a chance to read this this brand new Event Horizon series, but before we jump into just talking about the book that is launching, I wanted to know, when did you first see Event Horizon, and what kind of effect did it have on you as a young person?
Yeah, I mean, I was not so young actually, but thank you for presuming that. I was 21. So,
Okay.
I was a young man, and yeah, I went to see it opening night. Me and some friends
Really?
went to see it. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like a lot of us, I kind of grew up kind of like watching VHS tapes of, The Thing and
Yeah.
Aliens and Predator. And so really kind of Event Horizon kind of felt like one of those films from the 80s, real high
Uh-huh.
concept horror sci-fi. Um, and it was to go and see that at the cinema was fantastic. And I always remember, and I've said this in a few other interviews, I'm a big Orbital fan, the electronic duo from the UK,
Ah, yes.
and they collaborated on the score with Michael Kamen, and that was a big reason why I kind of got my bum on the seat, to see like one of my favorite kind of musical acts. And that opening sequence, when you're kind of going down the kind of like the wormhole, the kind of like, the credits are zooming towards you, which is, they
Mhm.
actually don't do that in films anymore.
I know
want
we've
to like zoom the credits, man.
we've
I'm hoping,
we've really lost
Superman, we're
that.
going to have some zooming credits.
I
James Gunn, I
I
hope you're
would
listening.
I'd be surprised if we
Yeah,
didn't get some kind of zooming credits in the Superman
yeah,
book. They can't help themselves. Uh, but yeah, man. It's funny when you mention zooming credits and Electro. I can only think of things like the Mortal Kombat movie,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
the Christian Lambert vehicle Beowulf. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie, but
I
man,
don't think I have seen that. No.
it's not great. And when I
Yeah.
say great, I mean good. So the less said about it, the better. But it has basically the exact same intro as Mortal Kombat, to the point where
Nice.
there's actually even like a CG coin that has the outline of Beowulf. You can't tell what the hell it is. With a
Oh,
dragon,
amazing.
I know what I'm looking at, but like
Yeah.
I'm just seeing Beowulf. It doesn't matter. Event Horizon. So you see this
Yes.
movie in the theater as a 21-year-old, so it completely radically affects your sensibilities, I imagine, because Lord knows I don't think I saw it in theaters, but I did see it on tape, obviously on tape. And I remember as a kid, like loving it. And over time, kind of like seeing the seams, but like I never lost that atmospheric. I was always like, there's a damn good movie in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And
100%.
I think a lot of fans say, it's what the movie they left behind. It's the prequel.
Yeah.
Well, Event Horizon, Dark Descent delivers on that premise and
Well,
promise.
thank you very much.
I'm thrilled to see that, because that's like the only kind of Event Horizon I ever want to see now. And I should warn folk, I haven't had a chance to read this book. And man, Tristan Jones doing the art on it, combined with Christian Ward's sensibilities, what a dope idea, and what a good looking book. What a fine looking book this turned out to be. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. And we must not forget Pip Martin, who dresses Tristan's nightmarish inks with these beautiful kind of like horrific hues. She really kind of brings the team together. But no, I mean, like, when this book came about, because like I'm quite good friends with Rantos, who's a big editor at IDW, and she edited my book Bloodstained Teeth for Image. And we hit it off, and we've been friends for a few years. And we met up at New York Comic Con last year. We were just, going for lunch, as friends do. And she was sort of like, chewing the fat and saying, "Oh yeah, IDW have got some new kind of licensees. It's really cool." And I was just like, "Oh, what have you got?" And she just sort of told me just to sort of like, for something to talk about. And she mentioned Event Horizon, and my eyes just like popped out my head. And I just sort of, I literally leapt on her, and I was. If you're looking for somebody to write this, right, I'm your guy. Like, I need to write this. And then, cut to March this year, or just before March, my editor, Nick Nino, sent me an email, and he was just like, "Oh, have you got any interest in writing Event Horizon?" Yes, I do. Q watching the film over the weekend. I had a weekend basically to come watch the film again. and decide what my take was. What was the story going to be? What could I contribute? Could I tell a good story? Was there a good story there to be told? And what started watching the film, having not seen it for a good 15 years, probably since the last time I sat down and actively watched it, other than
Yes.
passively seeing it here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And within 10 minutes, I was just like, I know what the story is. I know what the story is. Emailed them like straight away. They got really excited when I told them the full extent of what I had in mind. And Paramount got really excited. Philip Eisner, who's the original screenwriter, he gets kind of like, kind of approvals as well, and he got really excited. So
Cool.
it's pretty cool because you want to. I mean, my whole thing with this was it's kind of the Andor approach, right? It's about doing a prequel. The thing with prequels, we know how the story's going to end, so you can't change that. You can't change how the story's going to end, but what you can do is you can introduce context which changes the story that we know, and
Right.
that's the thing. So it's basically trying to find something exciting, a little nugget that is true to the original film, explores the lore that we've only seen a little bit of. And my hope is that when this series finishes, if you go back and watch the film, that film's going to feel different,
Yeah.
and it's going to feel you'll be like, oh my god, like that, oh, and that, and then that. So yeah, I'm over the moon with it, and now that people like yourself are starting to read the book, the first issue, and they're getting really excited. And as you say, we're very lucky to have Trishan Jones, who's like nobody does cosmic horror and kind of the architecture that's so important to Event Horizon, that kind of neo-Gothic kind of industrial architecture. It's like a cathedral in space.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one does it better than him. So it's
No,
it's a nightmare come true. It really is.
absolutely. Yeah. Jones is a master of depicting cosmic horror, and I love the idea of just the architecture, the design, the visual identity of Event Horizon is so captivating, and the implication that there is, like the ship gets lost, they recover it, what's happened on it, we get to find out. But like, there's so much about the gravity drive, and once you see it and being like, who would build it? Like, why does it have? Does it need to? You imagine. I could imagine that, and I don't know too much about like what went into the original Event Horizon, but I could imagine you gotta have spikes here. People are obviously gonna get impaled on these things. It's a horror movie first and foremost, but like, surprisingly enough, it's just about the visual style. It's just about how this looks, and the gore comes later, but it's much more about the Event Horizon, the jump drive, the gravity drive is much more of like the key that opens the door to the horror and the gore and everything that
it's
from
strangely slow burn. It kind of ramps up the film. I'm talking about it ramps up the dread and the tension, and it really isn't until like the last half an hour that it really just goes gonzo.
Yes.
Yeah. So and that's something that we're following. That was as you've read the first issue. The first issue is very much like
set up.
We're
building, but there's stakes. Like, but there is action. There is suspense. There's tension and fear and horror right off the bat. And of course there's the implication. Of course there's Weir, and that's really where you're like, oh right. Oh right. But, oh no.
He's like, what is his story? Because that's the thing. You watch the film, and right from the get-go, he's a little bit weird. And that was the thing, guys. It's like, okay, why?
Yeah.
Why? And obviously Claire, there's the whole backstory of Claire kind of killing herself. And, okay, well, what's going on? And so really, that's and you're, right from page one, we're going to start teasing, a much bigger story. And the thing that I'm really excited about is an IDW. We've gone from one book. I can't say too much. I'll say a little bit. I can't. No one's here. No one's going to stop me. We've gone from one book and it's as long as this first series does well, there's bigger plans. There's
Okay.
bigger plans because the next 5 issues are telling the story of what happened before the event of the film.
Yeah.
But then what happened afterwards?
I would love to find out.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is a great opportunity because, like, you think about your favorite movies or just movies in general that have like a cult following and how
Yeah.
great they are, what microcosms they are, like what lightning in bottles they are.
Yeah.
And how you think, oh, if only they'd make another one, or how can they do this, that, and the other thing? And you think about the logistics and the finances, and you're just like, there's no way. It's just like, even if they did, it would have to be, a committee of thousands, and it would get watered down. Comic books, again, come to the rescue of sequelizing or prequelizing stories that could never have dreamed of getting a story or an edition, or maybe even a successor. And here we are with IDW's licensing of the Event Horizon property and whipping up this book that is every bit, or at least threatens to be, and with you on the book, it promises to. I mean, it will be just as horrifying, if not more, and have depth and stakes and fear and cool like visuals and all the things you love about comic books, but hopefully all the things that you would hope to see and never expect from a prequel sequel of Event Horizon.
I mean, and I think the thing is with comics, comics feel to me, they're serial storytelling. They're much closer to what you're doing, in TV, and because of that, and because we've got, 5, 22, 24 page issues, it gives us a lot more room to sort of really delve into character than they can do in a 90-minute movie. So we're really gonna, there's lots of new characters in here, but Killpack is back, who's the original captain from the ship. And we're going to find out about Killpack, and obviously Weir's back, and then we've got all these new characters, and we're going to find out about them, and they're going to feel like real people, because the thing is, we know all these people died on this ship.
Right.
And really, it's such a passing thing in the film, like this crew died, but we don't really know who they are.
No.
And so it was really important to me that I wrote, like, I had to write people that you don't want them to die. Right from the get-go, they have to feel like, I don't want this person to die, because otherwise, where's the horror? I'm not a big, I don't want my horror's never about like, I'm going to write someone who's going to deserve this thing that happened to them. It's very much about like, horror happens to all of us, and it's about kind of like, when you write horror, you're kind of either consciously or subconsciously dealing with whatever's going on in the world, and and that happens to everyday normal nice people. So it's been a real privilege to be handed the keys to the ship, and to have all this space and trust that IDW are giving me and Paramount are giving me to sort of tell the story. It's wonderful.
Yeah. This book, folks at home, you should know, is coming out in August, but you can pre-order it. And that is the best way to see your series survive. So if you're interested in picking up at least the first issue, but certainly you can always tell folks at your comic book store you want the rest of it. But pre-order is on July 14th, if I remember correctly.
That's correct.
So if you have up until July 14th to pre-order the series / first issue, but of course the book will drop officially on the stands on August 20th. So keep an eye out for that, folks.
And I also want to say,
please
sorry to interrupt, Sal, but like,
No.
I think one thing that's really important to me is that if you've never seen Event Horizon and you just heard about it, or you can still pick this book up. Like I've kind of written it in a way that if you don't know what the film is, this book will work for you. If you do know what the film is, this book will work for you. And what I think is quite interesting, I think you could very easily read this book first and then watch the film. It's not, this is not anyone could read this book and enjoy it. If you love cosmic horror, if you love kind of like tense drama, beautiful artwork that's about hideous things, this book's for you.
Yeah. I can tell you, folks, having read this first issue, having seen Event Horizon at least 4 or 5 times, it reads it's very new reader friendly. It's very new universe friendly. You can definitely jump in and be like, I don't know anything about Event Horizon. And you know what? It's not burning a hole in my DVD case. I can wait. You can actually give that an experience. But I'm excited to read it whole and compare it with the movie, because I think the movie definitely demands / kind of almost deserves a little more. And this is providing that it's scratching that itch that was tickled, like, what, 1997 was when that movie came out.
Yeah,
Man,
97.
I can't believe this is, I think, the first time we're ever going to see any kind of return to this as well, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Christian, I really appreciate you coming on the show and helping us talk about it. Before we go, is there anything else coming out from you that you think people should check out besides, of course, Event Horizon, pre-order date, in July?
Yeah, I mean, Event Horizon is the big thing. I'm doing a little. I'm writing and drawing a Doctor Strange story for Doctor Strange 450. If people aren't familiar with my stuff, you could also pre-order the new DC are collecting my Two-Face run, which finished earlier this year, that I did with Fabio Veras, which is basically Perry Mason with Harvey Dent. It's really good. And that comes out in September also. So, you can pick this up in August, Event Horizon in August, and then Two-Face in September. And I'll be a happy boy.
Love it. Christian, thanks so much for coming by. Really appreciate you dropping in. And thanks for this awesome book. Congratulations to you. And I can't wait to see what's next, man.
Cheers. Thanks very much. And thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much. See you later, man.
Cheers,
Thank you very much. Bye.
Cheers.
So there you have it, everybody. Christian Ward dropping by. Tiffany, I don't know if you heard, but I'm excited to say that it looks like Christian Ward is also doing a story in Doctor Strange 400.
What?
So that'll be cool. Because of course
that is very cool.
Yeah, because I know you're familiar with his work as well.
I've heard of him.
He did.
I thought you meant Doctor Strange.
Yeah, you've heard of Doctor Strange before. No, Christian Ward wrote the Swamp Thing Green Hell Black Label series.
Yes.
So yeah. But and I can tell you, folks, I'm happy and proud to say that I have actually read Event Horizon Dark Descent, and I can say it's a dope ass book. It's actually genuinely cool, and it's the thing that, like, I've been waiting for Event Horizon. Okay, so I've always wanted Event Horizon to be cool.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, you were very complimentary about Event Horizon, the movie, and as best as you can. But I know secretly you don't love that movie. But the idea of it is very cool.
The movie,
and that's really what it is.
Yeah.
Like, the premise is super cool.
Yes.
And then you watch the movie and you're like,
oh no, like, because there's moments that just don't work. You could feel like studio interference,
sure,
and just director ineptitude. But overall, I mean, like, it's a great concept, fantastic pitch. And,
yes.
Again, it's like that thing in 97 is when the movie came out. In the 90s, there were set designers, there were production designers, there were so many artists who just wanted to be part of something awesome, and they just brought their A game. And Event Horizon is one of those movies where they're like, cool, like gothic space horror. Yeah, I'm in. And they made, and it's, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Looking. But story's cool.
Yes.
And scary and dark. But by the way, folks, if you're not familiar with Tristan Jones' work, he did a ton of work on Alien and Predator. So you'll know them inside and out. But yeah, pre-order that book July 14th. Book drops August 20th. Check that out if you are of a mind. Before we move on, there was a little bit of other news, but I don't remember what it was, so we're just going to move on, actually. Now I think. This show, by the way, welcome to it. Thanks for being here. If you want to help us out very more directly, you can do so by subscribing to this channel, liking this video, giving it a thumbs up. It does help in some way. The channel's in a weird place right now. This channel specifically, ComicPop Prime, doing great.
That's what matters.
Fine. It's doing fine. It's doing fine.
It's doing good.
ComicPop Returns, not so much. I don't know why. It's in a weird place. And so, Off the Rack's doing great as far as, Off the Rack's concerned. It's doing exactly as well as it was 4 years ago when we launched.
That's consistency.
Consistency is nice. I would like to see it up a little bit. And so to help us out, just give it a like and subscribe, click the bell for notifications. So when we go live, because the live experience is chief.
You want that.
You want that. You're gonna want that live experience. I wonder. I know there are many folks, many hardcore fans of ours, audience members of ours, who love this show, who watch it after the fact, and I really, really appreciate those Tuesday warriors out there who catch the show after it's live,
or whatever day,
or any day that you can. But yes, we appreciate it. So please help us out. Yeah. By the way, the show is sponsored by viewers like you. If you're watching the show live, you can sponsor today's show by just using Super Chats. Just go into that comment section or chat box, use Super Chats, and you can ask a question or comment, which we'll read here on the show. It's a whole section dedicated to that where we answer your questions or your comments, and then we chat about them for a minute. So check those out, or do that as well if you want to help sponsor today's show. Keeps the riffraff out, allows us to just have folks like Christian Ward come on. We can just gush about Event Horizon, and then I don't have to worry. I don't have to be like, and also, how about this vacuum cleaner, please? Like, no, I don't have to worry about Casper mattresses. Just, it's all about you. You're the direct line. If you want to help us more directly, go to patreon.com/ComicPop. You get early access to stuff. We actually I did the first time ever I made early access to a short, which did drop today on the main channel. I don't know why. It just got stuck in my craw.
It did, and I love it.
Play with it.
It's great.
I really like how it came out. I was very proud of it.
Should be.
One of the worst performing shorts we've ever made.
Would you stop? Listen.
It's weird. It's just weird. It's just weird.
Why?
It's the thing people want.
Okay,
and I was like, why did it not do well?
Really? Because it's not anything like any of the content you've ever made. That's why.
But they don't know. If let's say that you're a consistent reader or viewer of this channel or of the other channel. You're like, oh, they put out another video. You're not going to go, well, that looks completely different. Like, you're going to click it. No, that's what I do.
That's not how that works.
If Red Letter Media put out a short, I'd watch it.
Yeah, but it's going to be served to you. And if you don't recognize it immediately, you may not watch it.
And that's the thing, right? Because YouTube actually, and this is something you probably know because you guys are watching the show live, but YouTube, it favors new viewers over subscribers, and in fact does not push videos directly to subscribers. It pushes it out. And then whoever sees it with the algorithmic push from YouTube, that gauges whether it's successful or not. Not whether the people you subscribe to watch it. Who cares about them? It's
if I may say, don't measure your success with that short in terms of its views. It's a really great short, and you should have made it just because you wanted
to. I did, and I'm proud of it. I'm very happy with it.
But this is the second time I've heard you mention that it was a colossal failure.
Well, it was. But
it's not.
When YouTube sends you push notifications like you failed, it's very frustrating and demoralizing, and it's hard not to think about how to rectify that problem. And that's how it works.
You rectify by changing your judgment of failure.
Right. Well, but then if I continue to pat myself on the back and work towards whatever I find interesting, and YouTube consistently tells me that I screwed it up, who's going to help? Who's going to pay my rent as a result of that? I also read Absolute Martian Manhunter. That was a book that I read, and folks at home probably also read it. This is, of course, written by Dennis Camp, with art by Javier Rodriguez. Again, this book is the work of Javier Rodriguez's career. He is just owning this title. This book in particular, I don't know why this one in particular. I think it's just because of the nature of the design aesthetic that Rodriguez is going for, but it looks great. It's a phenomenal issue. Just the depiction of the duality of the Martian and John, and also the depiction of relationships between John and his wife, and the antagonist of this particular story. It's a gorgeous looking issue, and it should be celebrated. There are not many books that look like this on the shelf, and Javier Rodriguez was an inspired choice for this title.
Yes, agreed.
Camp did a nice job. Again, consistent characterization, building towards the emotional stakes, and also the local, the localized plot stakes of what the deal is with the Martian and these seemingly external threats that are infecting the minds of people. You had an interesting criticism of the book off mic, which I will speak to, which is that it's a very dour book. It's very dark, and it really does seem to play towards the the worst impulses of humanity. We don't really see a lot of joy, a lot of levity. And that's not what this book is. This book is a noir movie in comic book form. It's a noir pulp. It's a pulp book.
Yep.
But with Javier Rodriguez's art, which does not, which both plays to it and yet also manages to become something else.
Yes.
And I think it's just a testament to like great synergy, great comic book synergy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a downer and it is a bummer. Like this book is a consistent bummer, emotionally speaking, when you're reading it. So
Yeah.
I completely understand wanting to like take a break from it every so often. Only 4 issues. And yet the emotionality of it cuts right to the core. This, more than Ultimates for me, is Camp's exploration of today. Like this is the kind of thing that I want from Camp more, where it's like people are unhappy when you go out into the world, when you stay in and look out through the world through your rectangular window. It's dark. It's miserable. No one's happy. Everyone's broke and no one's happy.
I mean,
like
it's a generalization.
It's a generalization. It's not true, but it also is going to be what they say about us 100 years from now. And like everybody had everything they wanted. You know, cancer was still a problem, but like everything else was pretty great.
Yeah.
But everyone was miserable. No one was happy, and everyone was broke.
Right.
It's just interesting because this book is, it doesn't wear it on its sleeve, but it does seem to parallel, you know, contemporary outrage. Nice work overall. You know, it's just that kind of book. So that's cool.
Absolutely.
Is it a recommend though? You know, if you, I wouldn't read it first.
I mean, I think so. Here's the thing: like, I am not reading this book right now, and I made my case for that last week. It has nothing to do with the quality of the book. It just, like, I believe in challenging oneself to read things outside of what your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
But this was just like emotionally hitting me in a place I just wasn't receptive to right now.
I agree.
So I'm just like, I just need to come back at this.
Take a break
at another point in time.
Just take a day.
Take a day. Just gotta take a day. Put a note in the door. Say cut and loose.
That's right.
So like, I recommend it in as much as like, if you are looking to challenge yourself or like read something that maybe reflects a little bit more of the world around you right now, this might be cathartic.
Yeah.
But it also might be too much. So
it might be too much.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Oh,
it's in work.
There it is. Hey, it's me. I'm back.
Dang it.
So yeah, The Thing is a series. I didn't read the first issue, but I did read the second one. I don't remember why. Tony Fleesh, Justin Mason. It's a book about The Thing. It's Ben Grimm.
Yeah.
He fights Bullseye. It was fun. It's very.
So this made me question seeing this cover. I'm like, carving into him, does that regenerate?
Yeah. Just like how your skin regenerates, more or less. You know, like.
So can he get a tattoo?
Can he get a tattoo? I believe he can, but it'd be more like an etching, and then of course.
But it would grow out.
It would grow out because like it's living rock. He can grow a beard. You know,
of rocks.
Yes, it's in the movie. Fantastic Four: First Steps. He has a rock beard.
I don't know if I. So the rock is the same for hair and skin cells.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. It's odd,
okay.
But yeah, it's a fun book. It doesn't. It didn't blow me away, but I was just. It's a book starring and about Benjamin J. Grimm.
Right.
It's just going to be a fun little book about this character interacting with the Marvel Universe, which I think is a great opportunity to showcase The Thing and just have a good time. It's a good pitch. Good fun.
Here he is.
Here he is, indeed. There he was. I also read Justice League Unlimited. This is something I should not have read because I heard about it. I mean, like, I like this series. I love this book.
Yes.
But I was deliberately not reading We Are Yesterday because I was going to read it all in kind of one sitting.
So you read part 6?
Yeah, it's the end of this. But, you know, it's...
Who does that?
I mean, I do. It's weekly / monthly comics.
Right, but you didn't read all of it. You just feel like I was bombing at the end.
Yeah, that's called being a comic book fan.
Oh my gosh.
Comic book readers, like, you know, when we were children, if I needed a book, you know, I only had like so many dollars in a clenched fist and a few more minutes in the comic book store. I just grabbed anything. You know, the cover was what sold me. And so who knew it was like part 3? My first comic book that I bought myself or was bought for me that I chose to get was a Spectacular Spider-Man book, part 2. of a Puma story.
Okay. So what'd you think?
Mark Waid, Dan Mora, it's great. It's so fun and awesome. Gorilla Grodd accessed the Omega Force that was kind of crackling in the Watchtower, and a result in a time explosion. Hypertime was a problem, and so all these different iterations of characters from different time periods end up in the present. Batman Beyond Terry McGinnis, young Jason Todd, Joshua Williamson's Year One Flash, Barry Allen, 0 Year Batman from Scott Snyder, Peter David's Hook Hand Aquaman, etc. Really, really fun concept. Chaotic as all get out, but exactly what you want. Of course, you're reading Just Like Unlimited. It's about that like one guy that's kind of like the through line character that I don't remember the name of, who matters so little and then explodes at the end of the issue. So great. It takes 8 issues to get rid of that character and focus on the main heroes, which is what I was here for in the first place. I get the idea, the impulse of being like, here's a character, like, look, Mark Waid did the exact same thing in Kingdom Come. He's like, here's Norman McRae. Norman McRae is going to look at the world and go, holy crap, that's you. You're Norman McRae. Like, I get it. But also, everyone's favorite moment is not Norman McRae. Mine happened to be, but like that being said,
but everyone else.
But like, look, this lame superhero character ain't Norman McRae. I've said Norman McRae more times in the last 10 seconds than anyone has in the last 20 years. Yeah. So, great book, great, awesome stuff, awesome action. Made me go, oh man, I should just read all of We Are Yesterday. It's so fun. Thank you, Airwave. That's his name. But yeah, it's awesome and fun and cool. Huge stakes, implications. Maybe these characters can't go home.
Ooh.
I love that idea.
Uh-oh.
There's a moment where
well, you can't ever go.
Well, you never can, and you can't take it with you either. So, but like, this is so cool. And I was like, oh, I want to see more of this. I want to see these characters interact, but like by Mark Waid, like I've seen Batman Beyond in the DC universe, and it blew hard because it was just done for all the wrong reasons with the wrong people involved. Now we can have like Mark Waid do it, and maybe he watched Batman Beyond. I honestly don't know. It's a 6-1 for him. Who knows if he did? I know he has respect for it because he has respect for canon. But it's great. Okay. What did you read, Tiffany?
I read a whole slew of things.
I know.
This week, I read Green Lantern Dark.
You did
this week, by Tate Bromble and Werther Del Edera. This is an Elseworlds book, an ongoing sort of Elseworlds. I don't know if it's ongoing. This is a series I'm reading. This Elseworlds, and I like it a lot. And it's really, really neat. It's about a Green Lantern who was gifted this like power and doesn't really understand it, but is beginning to understand it. And they're fighting against this like dark and dismal world, which is ironic that I'm like, well, I don't want to read something that's dismal and dark, but like this book's at the hope side of it, and like the Dennis Kemp book hasn't gotten there yet.
No, I don't see it doing that either.
But in this we find out about the big space worm that's coming, and that's kind of cool. Okay. I mean, listen, if you like Dune, maybe you like this book because there's a big space worm in it.
Oh no.
Listen, I don't care. Like,
okay, you do enjoy it though.
I enjoy it. Look at it. Look at the big worm.
That's a space dune. That's a space sandworm.
That's Urbic Doom. Feeder of dark things.
Wow, what a spectacular double page splash.
It's freaking amazing. So good. It's like there was light and then dark and all that stuff, and the creator needed help cleaning up the rot of the world, and so it created this worm. And and that witch that we met, whose name is Desdemona or Demona. She's trying to call forth. She's trying to make the planet as crappy as possible.
Yeah.
So that they like the worm will come because she wants to harness its dark energy and then use it, and then
the dark energy that I guess it's consumed over the eons.
It's in the worm's tummy.
Yeah. And I automatically got that.
In
its
endless stomach, it just constantly feeds, and it's like unending like hunger.
Yes.
Right.
Awesome.
It's like Galactus in a sense, but it's a big worm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's less sentient.
Yes, it has a job. It has a job. Outfit. It's like an evil Roomba.
Yeah.
Worm going through space, being like, I'm targeting the dirt and dust and trying to avoid the non-dirt and dust. Wherever you put the little thing that says I shouldn't go there, I won't go there. So I'll wait and find the places I should go. So yeah, and then we find out that like Damona's mom is Morgan Anna Le Fay.
Oh, okay.
Or Morgan Le Fay.
Now, is this like the Dark Lantern Elseworld world of the world? Okay.
Yes. And
you never know with magic characters. Maybe they're like dicking around in another universe.
and or at least she refers to it as such in a way.
Cool.
But yeah, like her dad is Bat Wraith, the like ghostly cursed bat character that we meet. We get a bunch of backstory in this book. In this issue in particular, we learn a little bit more about like where our characters came from. It was like some really sad, like lovely moments. And we see that like the world is starting to rally, like the places that they go within New England. So like the world right now is really just New England. The places the Green Lantern touches now, like, you know, take some of her fire and use it to like save themselves now as well. So it's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
So they're on the march to fight the witch, and yeah, it's a really fascinating book with a ton of lore that I don't want to ruin for you necessarily. But obviously there's a traitor within the group, and you know, that traitor is born out of a desire to save their own, like, those they care about.
Oh,
you know
their own clan.
Yeah, that type of thing. Those that they care for. Just really interesting book. I think a lot of folks will probably discover this more in trade than reading month to month. It's had a very strange sort of rhythm to it coming out.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Cool.
Good stuff. I just realized I missed something that I wanted to read this week.
Oh no!
I downloaded it. I just didn't see it again. Oh, actually, I didn't download it. Oh, because Cy Spurrier's Witcher book came out. I completely forgot to read it.
You read all things Cy Spurrier, so I'm sorry.
I read the first one and I just didn't.
Yeah.
I bought the second one and it's just sitting there.
Just sitting in your inbox. That's great. All right. Well, you'll read it. I read Superman number 27 from Joshua Williamson and Sean Isaacs. This is really cool. You know, it's such a okay. It's a cool book. I enjoy it. Isaacs did a great job. You know, Dan Mora has normally done the Superman book. Isaacs, you might know him or remember him from his Green Arrow run with Joshua Williamson. So he's a fantastic successor. Continues the story. It's awesome. It's great. We get to see, you know, Lois kind of. There's a very quiet moment. It's not actually, the book is not about like Lois being like, I'm not Superwoman anymore. Oh no. It's just, she kind of like wraps it up. She's like, look, I don't need that. And Superman's like, I don't either. That's fine. So yeah, it's great. But Lex, you know, he's still inverted or good. And so he kind of pulls a self-sacrificing play to get out of the way and help cure Superman of his red kryptonite poisoning. And, you know, we get a little callback to Farm and Graf and all the characters that Josh had introduced in the beginning of his run.
Sure.
We see that Mercy's taken over Supercorp. They also have to use the Superman logo to defeat their enemy, and so as a result, like it's LexCorp again. Like, we're done with that, or maybe we're not, but we know who it really is. Like, this is a fun, consistently excellent Superman series. Superman has rarely read this consistently well and fun since the 90s.
Wow.
And, you know, in the 90s, they really took it for granted and split it up over like 17 different titles where they were all interchangeable despite all their various subheadings like Man of Tomorrow or Man of Steel or Man of Yesterday. It's just a bunch of like the same, a bunch of same. This is just a fun, consistent, good Superman series that, you know, also introduces new characters, but in a organic and, you know, original / genuine way, like in a way where it's like, this is just fun character. I don't know if Madeline Moon Knight's gonna get an action figure, but she's cool. But
well, I don't know. Well, I guess not now without
Todd. Well, Todd still has the license for a little while. We're still seeing new Todd toys for DC, but it's gonna end soon, and then Mattel's gonna shit the bed. But it's a good series. It's a consistently solid series that deserves to be in the 10s, in the 20s. Like, it should just keep going. Like, don't reset, don't reload, don't add more Superman books. You know, nobody needs any Unlimiteds or anything like that. Just keep this book going. Yeah. Because it's just a consistently fun book that like doesn't want to do anything other than tell Superman stories. It's not trying to be anything else.
Right.
It's not trying to reset or rewrite or, you know, or change Superman into blue. You know, it's just a fun book. Oh, I forgot, Blue Superman is also in the Mark Waid book. Oh, so he's here too. And I'm like, oh, great. They can just go, oh, here's your cure, by the way. Here's a way to fix that. Now you don't have to worry about that.
You go, buddy. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, now you're just regular Superman.
Isn't that better?
Isn't that way better?
Don't you like that more?
I got to tell you, Electric Blue Superman, the suit.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
I know you do.
It's iconic as hell. I also think it's like
Do you think it's more iconic than the Superman suit?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. But it is more streamlined than like every interpretation of Superman's suit since the 90s. You know what I mean?
Sure.
2 colors, no addendums, no nonsense. Except for when they like want to tell you it's made of like electricity or like there's circuitry. So they like, but they clean that off. It's clean. It's got good lines. It's a great suit. And it wouldn't work on any other character except for maybe like Livewire, which it did. But like it is a fantastic oxymoron. Like it should not exist. It's wrong. It's wrong for Superman. Superman should never have a different suit. And they never would have made it for anyone else. It's just such a weird thing. It's just a weird thing where it's like, this is endlessly iconic and is a travesty. Like that shouldn't exist. It's weird.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right,
I read this Sonic the Hedgehog DC Universe.
I'm gonna have a lot to talk about when we're done.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. DC Sonic the Hedgehog. This is a series I'm still reading. It's almost over. I think there's 5 or 6. I think there's 6 issues of the series because there's also like little dots that tell you like how far along it is.
Sure.
Ian Flynn, Adam Bryce Thomas, the Justice League fights bad guys in the Sonic universe and then eventually open up a wormhole to let the Sonic characters back in.
Okay.
That's it. Like it's just that.
Right,
you want to see Batman fight Metal Sonic? You want to see Flash run through the Green Hill Zone and be like, this place is built with loop-de-loops. Why? I mean, I'm not going to complain though, because woo! Like he's in heaven, and I love it. There's actually a great moment at the end of it where he and Batman are talking. He's like, no. There's straight up loop-de-loops. And Batman's like, I'm going to have to bring my Batcycle to that place.
Why would he want to do that?
Because I'm a big child.
Because I never developed after the alley.
Yeah, I'm 8. I have a giant dinosaur in my house. You think that's because I need it for home defense? It's because dinosaurs are awesome. Because I'm an 8-year-old boy. And I'd ride cool. Like Batman does not need a Batcycle. If anything has proven that, it's the Arkham games. I'm sorry. Batman doesn't need a Batmobile.
Yeah.
And the Arkham games prove that.
Except the later one. Where you definitely needed that Batmobile.
No. You didn't. They ruined the game with it. But if I get an enhancement on my grapple gun, I can get across the city, no problem. Just throw him on there. He has the car because cars are cool. And that's why it's 17
But also,
of
like,
them.
what if he has to have a conversation with someone? It's just easier to put him in the car.
Yeah, it's just, what? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
That's because I'm whizzing through the city at 90 miles per hour.
I meant a physical in-person conversation
I know.
with someone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just talk to them when I get there. Plus, I can't take anyone with me.
Yeah.
Grab on!
Just Jim. No.
I will see you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the L.
It's fine. I have a subway pass.
Yeah. This is a fun book. If you like Sonic, you'll love this. It keeps they keep throwing more Sonic characters at me, and I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Please stop showing me Sonic characters. Like, this is gonna make it impossible doing back issues because I don't know who that is, and I don't know what they do, and I don't want to learn.
You'll look them up.
Yeah, I'll have to learn all their lore. It sounds insane.
Don't worry, it's out there.
Yeah, it is. Why don't you tell us a little bit about this book?
Yeah, really quick. I'll just touch on the fact that I read news from the Fallout.
You saw this cover yesterday or last week.
I did. I was like,
what?
What's this? By Chris Condon with writing and Jeffrey Allen Love on art. If you like the cover, that's what the book looks like.
Nice, good.
The entire book is monochrome.
Ooh.
It is just like black, white, and gray tones. That is it. It looks like that. It's grim. It's gritty. It is a story about like some sort of seemingly nuclear or test-based fallout that occurs, and something happens to the people within it.
Okay.
Like they're testing something. There are these soldiers who are like, we have to stay in the thing. One guy puts on a gas mask and somehow is not affected by it.
Like the guy on the cover.
The guy, well, that is our guy.
That's our
One
guy.
of the other guys like ends up being affected and then starts like making other people like him by like spitting at them.
Ooh,
essentially.
Okay. Gross.
Yeah, no, it's it's interesting because the art is so loose. It is so like a
memory or a
it's
dream.
It's like a nightmare or like even like a propaganda poster.
Yeah.
Like it has like this really like good this
Graphic.
grit and like this war feel to it.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a zombie book, but without it being overtly a zombie thing. You know what I mean? But like it has those sort of hallmarks to them where it's like, oh no, like this thing has happened. Like what's going on? I don't know.
The
like,
real monster is us. Yeah,
kind of thing where like our guy gets away, flips the car, and ends up like at this diner, like this like 1950s-esque diner. We end with like, I guess it's the 50s like time period there, whatever. We get like this great like last page of like the menu for the diner. But like our guy's like, we got to board up the windows now, and so like seemingly he's going to be in there. I don't know for how long. I don't know if the rest of the book. I don't care. Like this was more fun than I thought it would be.
Cool,
for sure. And again, I don't think it's necessarily zombies. It's just it makes me think of that. You know, it's funny how when you look at a book, sometimes it's black and white, and how you can feel like it's fine if it's not done correctly. This is done absolutely correctly, where it is just
it has to be.
Well, like I mean, like it just looks like the art just really works for me. It's like not quite noirish. It just has a very distinct look.
You know what
very
it looks like? I'm going to throw this out there. It looks like what like a Pixar animator would make in their spare time.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You know, like,
it has that. It has like almost like a Steve Niles.
Yeah.
But not quite.
Better.
Okay. Well, fair. That's
like
very fair.
I like it. I like this look. I like it a lot.
It looks
it's like a Sienkiewicz meets like a Niles,
Yeah, it is kind of like that. It also like the it's digital looking, right? But but it looks printed. It almost is like a second run on something where they didn't
like a zine,
They didn't quite have enough ink.
Yeah. That's cool.
But it looks neat. I don't know. There's just something I really enjoy about looking at it.
Yeah.
And the story is also fun, but like I really was just like so drawn in by the visuals. So I don't know. Check it out.
Cool. News from the Fallout.
Yeah, news from the Fallout.
Check it out. Came out last week.
Yeah.
Cool. What else you got?
I read Doom Academy. It wrapped up.
Oh no, it's over?
Yeah, One World Under Doom.
Well, I guess it makes
Doom
sense.
Academy. Did I already have the credits page up and I went away from it? Who knows? Not me. That's who.
Yeah.
No, I did not. Written by Mackenzie Cadenhead with art by Pascal Ferry. We can put it out there. Ferry's not my favorite artist.
You have a complicated relationship with Pascal Ferry.
It's just not my taste, and that is all that it is. I'm not like being like, "Oh, you're bad."
No,
it's just not my thing.
I don't.
Sometimes
I like it quite a bit.
Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I think it looks really nice. Like this issue in particular is just a pretty looking book.
And that's literally what art's all about, right? Yeah. Where it's just like for me, this just does not do it. But for Sally, he's kind of digging it, right?
I kind of dig it. Yeah.
Story overall. Listen, this was the last issue. You know, the first couple of these, I was like, I think I see what we're doing here. And by the end of it, this did not really
do it.
Yeah, it didn't. This is cute. Like the first couple of issues kind of is just like, hey, remember that fun series? And then by the end of it, I was kind of like, this just made me miss the original series more than it did like add to the original series. You know, like I'm sure Cadenhead had like the desire, like there's a strong desire to do this thing about stories, or like there was like an idea where it was like, let's just do this, and I'm like, cool, whatever.
Yeah,
it didn't really do much for the characters. It's just a thing that happened.
All right, well, it was invented for the event, so yeah, it makes sense.
Right, but this is I still feel like it should be in service to these characters. Yeah, because
Strange Academy died. Like the book's over, and it's like this is the only time we're going to see these characters.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to form the Young Avengers or something.
And then like Doom shows up and like yells at everyone. It's the ending's very strange to me. It's weird. He yells at like all the adults.
Okay.
And then like it's over, and they're like, well, or is it? And I'm like, what?
Yes, it is.
I don't know. It just wasn't a very strong ending for me. I didn't love honestly this book.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying don't check it out.
No,
but I'm just saying like for me, this wasn't quite as strong as I like as Strange Academy had been.
Yeah.
Doom Academy was just fine. I think there's a lot more potential than there was follow through
execution.
With this.
I see you. Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk about
everyone's favorite run of Flash.
I really like this run of Flash. I don't know. Yeah. It's fun. It's written by Cy Spurrier. This is Flash number 22. Written by Cy Spurrier with art by Vasco Georgiev. Man, Georgiev just doing really beautiful, phenomenal, great stuff.
I'm going to say it again. Book. Like I discovered them through their amazing Marvel DC crossover cover concepts that they released on social media. If you have not seen it, just look up Flash number 22 to get the spelling for Vasco Georgiev. and then look at their Instagram, and you will follow them from then on in. But I was like, this person should just do this. And then eventually they did do it, and they were like, one issue. But whatever, per publisher.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, this person's going someplace. Like this is like a new Dan Mora on the horizon. Like it's somebody special that people are going to remember and want and fight over to get on their books. And right now, Georgieva's drawing the Flash,
right,
on no one's favorite run of the Flash.
Well, I think people will eventually find this and maybe like get some joy out of it, for sure. But like more of the Flash kids are getting involved. You know, Wally has splintering running this like war essentially by like seemingly the original Wally is gone, but others have been like splintering off and just doing copies and copies and throwing themselves just to keep the war going and to save everything essentially, right? Cool, whatever. You know the Flash family, the actual family of the Flash, not the other Flashes.
No,
but the kids who are also somewhat Flashes. Anyway,
because Wally's like made multiples of himself.
Yeah, but I mean like the actual kids and you know
his family.
They'll go up, they'll make memories and whatever. Anyway, folks like Barry and stuff have come by. There's a little like back and forth with that. Jai or Jay, depending on how you want to say it.
Yeah, I say Jai, but I don't know.
Is being used to like teleport people here and there. So like, Barry needs a lift. So he does it, but he puts himself right back where he was. So he doesn't miss class.
Okay.
But then he has to go up and Irie is like, I'm going to. So essentially they find out about the Flash who is like not right. Like who has like, is like wants to live and is like, no, we should try a different method of fixing this problem. Right. And I'm like, cool.
Okay.
And so essentially Irie ends up getting stuck with the Splinter Flash, the one who's like the Wally who is like kind of in charge of everything. And Jay ends up going with the Flash who is seemingly like a little off. Yeah. And like Jay's like, I'm gonna do this, like Irie stay here. So then Irie and OG Wally have to deal with the like onslaught that is the repercussions of their attack. And so like a bunch of the rogues show back up and it's like they're giving everything they've got in order to like push over the Flashes. And we see that like everyone shows up to that Wally and is like, wait, what do we do? We need orders. And like he freaks out. Oh, right. Like it's too much. Yeah. Other Wally and Jay go up to the Linear Bureau. Remember that there was Pilgrim, the guy with the hat and all that. Turns out it's like, their youngest child grown up. Yeah. Cool. Right. He's one of the Linear men. And so they go up there to kind of like talk some stuff through and inevitably they do have a breakthrough and it's all good. Right. It's neat. It's cool. And you're like, all right, awesome. Like that Flash starts seeing some things and it's like, wait a minute, maybe it's this. Oh, like this whole thing about a loop, like just all starting to put it together. Irie has an opportunity where like she ends up using her powers and like disintegrates a bunch of the Flash splinters by pulling their like speed force out of them in a sense. And she's like, did I just? And he's like, no, you didn't kill them. It's cool.
No, they're not real.
They're not anything. Like, right. Whatever. Who cares? And so like Jai and our like
our main Wally,
our potentially actual main Wally. I don't know what we want to call it. The one that's like kind of off. Come up with a plan where they're like, they're going to try and open a door. They're going to use Jay's incredible powers as like a maker because like essentially he's like someone who can like change everything. Yeah. And that like, there's a lot riding on him and he doesn't love that for himself, which I'm like, that's kind of interesting, Yeah. And that's like, you ever know like the kid or you were the kid who everyone's just like, oh, they're so smart. They're going to make such like, like they're going to make such a difference. They're going to blah, blah, blah. They're going to do this, right? Like, there's a lot of pressure to put on like
a child.
Yeah. And so like maybe knowing what your fate isn't always the best because maybe you can't even imagine how you can get there. So like, kind of interesting concepts there. Anyway, their best laid plans go awry. Jay gets pulled in along with that Wally, and we introduced to the book The Shade.
Oh no.
I was like, of course the Shade shows up, which I didn't know a whole lot about, but I was like immediately upon seeing them, I'm like, you're a British character, aren't you? And yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
though not in Justice League Unlimited or Justice League the cartoon show and Unlimited where Shade shows up.
Right. But I'm pretty sure we're going with British Shade here.
Shade's an old character too.
Yeah.
Like, he's been around for a long time.
Yes. And but I love the intro page of him because he's standing there among like just these pieces of the Flash of Wally's just floating around him, just these thrown away dead Flashes. I'm like, Really, really interesting stuff. Occasionally it's like I'll read it and then go back and be like, okay, what did I miss? Because I'm just kind of going through like what happens and a lot of the action sequences. And then I'm like, okay, what was all the science stuff we talked about?
Yeah.
So let's go back.
I'm glad it's going great.
It is. I really enjoyed it.
We both read Absolute Wonder Woman.
Yeah, of course we did.
What a great series from Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. This is a story where basically
we're like, we've got the new adventure been rolling along.
Yeah,
here, right?
she was dealing with Dr. Poison, the newly established Dr. Poison from the previous issue. Diana basically interrogates Dr. Poison and finds out that there is this maze within Area 41 that may be housing a secret Amazon. And so Diana needs to go there, and what she finds is a temple guardian in the form of a giant Minotaur.
Well, because like Area 41, it turns out, is a maze, and so when she like asks Dr. Poison, it's like, well, are there things down there that have always been, or things that have been added in? She's like both. And it's like, cool. So we can put anything in this maze. And of course, if you're going into a maze, historically speaking, there's going to be a Minotaur in said maze.
And there is, and his name is Ferdinand.
Yes,
and of course it is. And he's cute and fun. And he's fighting against like fish people.
And so like when you come upon this scene,
like she does,
immediately you think like, well, obviously the Minotaur is the aggressor, and the fish people are just trying to do their thing and just live their lives because he's the big one and he's the bully. She uses the lasso to reveal, oh no,
they're the aggressor. They're trying to kill someone under the protection of Ferdinand.
Yes.
And so Ferdinand takes his charge, this young girl, and
that's Petra.
Petra.
She's a whatchamacallit. Why can't I think of the name or the word? I'm gonna come up with it. You keep talking.
Well, in any case, they're not. It's not the trench. These are not like creatures from the trench. They're more like, well, they are. They maybe.
Yeah.
In any case,
she's a siren.
She's a siren.
That's it. I was like, what is she?
Yeah. So Diana gets more information about what she's looking for, and eventually finds what she's looking for.
Well, yeah, because like initially, like they chased the fish folk off by like Diana threatening.
She gives a great scary speech,
and she's like, sometimes that's enough. And so then Minotaur was like, all right, so what we got to do is like we got to go away for a bit in order to hopefully have lost them, and I'll take you to like where I live, like my place that they don't know about. And like they turn the corner, and it's just like, ta-da!
It's Clea, Queen Clea.
Yep.
I don't know who that is.
No,
but that's exciting. Like, hey, neat.
But I love that she's like, that's not an Amazon,
right? I'm like, okay.
And I'm like, let's find out. Like, I'm sure it isn't, but I would love to find out if it was, and like it's just what Diana thinks what they are versus what they might actually be.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Or maybe she's not actually the Amazon.
Right.
Maybe someone else is down.
Yeah. It's a neat idea.
I assumed it was going to be like Artemis or Yara Flor.
Sure.
Like I was kind of assuming it was going to be one of those. But we'll see what happens. Yeah. Overall, really great stuff.
Yep.
I have found.
Yes.
Hear me out here, folks.
Okay.
Don't at me right now. I have found in the last couple of issues Sherman's work to be good, but not as good as the first 5.
That's interesting.
And I think that's because of Dark Patterns.
Yes. Well, Sherman, Sherman's, yes. It's taking...
think because Dark Patterns is obviously probably the larger of the books that he's doing.
I don't know. I bet Absolute Wonder Woman outsells Dark Patterns.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
But you're doing a Bat book.
Yeah, but you're doing a Bat book, so it's got to be worth it.
But that's just my opinion. I just feel like the art is, like I said, it is.
I think it's great, and Sherman is still doing their signature panel layout. They're breaking convention, great, epic storytelling.
Yes,
and I've not noticed a dip, but I have not been looking for it. I don't know.
I'm not looking for it. I
haven't noticed a dip.
I just feel like
it could also be that we are, because this is another thing that I was a little concerned about when it came to the Absolute line, particularly Wonder Woman, which is there is a mythic nature, obviously, to this character in particular that like you don't get with Superman and Batman. Once you tell the story and introduce the character, then you have a Wonder Woman book, which is historically hard to do.
Sure.
Kelly Thompson is the perfect person to do it and has been consistently nailing it. And in no way have I felt like Absolute Wonder Woman has dipped in quality at all. There's never been an issue of this series where I thought, oh, this isn't working right. Or, oh, this is not as good as XYZ. So Kelly Thompson is the definitive Wonder Woman writer now. But because literally I've never felt that way and for anyone writing Wonder Woman. But I think it's fantastic.
So I want to support my argument about why this may not look as good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hayden Sherman also does their colors.
Yes.
And that takes a lot.
It does.
It takes a lot to do the whole book like that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking that might be where we're seeing some corners cut here and there in this book.
Yeah.
I haven't seen their work in Dark Path. I say the last issue.
Oh, in the last issue.
And that was after I was coming back after the arc, right? So I think, this is why I'm thinking it's Dark Patterns' fault.
Yeah.
Which means Dark Patterns will end.
Yes. Well, Dark Patterns is meant to be a miniseries.
Right. But it will
over.
End.
And then Wonder Woman will pick back up again.
And that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it will. But I think that Sherman's doing a great job anyway.
Yes,
and I know you do too.
For sure. It's just when you come out of the gate, like those first 5, it's going to be noticed, even if there's an artist in between, that this isn't as a game.
I find that the weakest part is the cover.
I noticed that on the last cover too, and it really bothered me. But I didn't want to say anything about it because I was like, I think I'm just being hypercritical.
And then
this issue came out, and I was like,
no, like you're noticing something.
And again, like
I will say, Dark Patterns is a triumph.
I know
it's a revelation,
but it's like it is as triumphant as the first 5 of Wonder Woman.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna. I've invited Dan Waters back on. He's gonna come back just so we can gab about Dark Patterns again.
Nice. Okay. Fantastic.
But yeah, it's a great series. It continues to be the best absolute book.
It is, and it's not like the art is so horrible that it's not even horrible. It's just it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's not as good.
Yes,
but it is good.
Yeah, that's
so.
Fair.
Like, I want to make sure. Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm thrilled to say that another issue of Predator vs. Spider-Man came out.
Yeah.
And, in the last issue, it threatened that a couple of 3 predators showed up going like, hey, Skin Taker or whatever the hell your name is.
I think it's just Skinner.
Skinner, knock it off. Quit doing that. What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's
not what we do. Don't be weird. They bump into Spider-Man and like, well, I mean, we're here. Might as well fight Spider-Man. I mean, come on, let's go.
Well, Spider-Man offers it up. He's just like, hey, what's up?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what are you guys doing? What's your story? And they're like, uh-oh, let's get him. So they fight him. And that's when I realized that Spider-Man hasn't fought a Predator in 3 issues.
Yeah.
And the last and 4 is the last issue.
Yeah. So like 2 things. One.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
The art's great.
Clayton
Coles. I'm sorry, Clayton Coles. Marcello Ferreira. Yeah. By the way, written by Ben Percy. Ferreira's art is consistent. It's exactly as good as it was the last 2 issues. Horrifying yet grounded in superheroics. Craven, clearly the main character of this book, arranges certain situations to continue to prolong the book. I just wanted to mention that Ferrer does a great job with the art, and I think it's still like fun and atmospheric and cool and action packed and consistent throughout. So no complaints about the art. Wow, what a horror fest.
Yeah. So are you talking about the rat thing?
Yes, the rat thing.
Okay, because that was the thing. I was like, this is brilliant, and I hate it.
It was so gross and great.
Like, I hate
poor MJ and the blonde person.
Yeah, but like, wait to have Percy play up that the homeless gentleman.
Yes.
Who's like, oh wait, is he a creep? I don't know, right? And he's just like, no, and then he dies. But
just impaled by Skinner.
Yeah, I think that's his name. Now I'm like questioning.
It's Skinner.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Just definitely was questioning myself on that one.
But it is but by the way, seeing Spider-Man fight Predators, I was like, yay. That's what I want to see.
It's super fun. So here's my other thing about this book. I personally feel like, not knowing what's going to be coming next, I know they're going to do a Marvel, like a Predator versus the Marvel Universe type of thing, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel like Ben Percy maybe leaned a little too much into the setup of Skinner.
Yes.
And less into the actual like hunting and fighting.
100% is more.
Because I feel like we're just watching Craven begin his hunt, and it's going to be almost over in the flash of an eye, or like in the blink of an eye. And I don't necessarily love that.
Yep.
Again, unless we're just doing Predator 2 rules, where he is the Busey of it all.
Yeah. I think he will be.
Which means he's just going to get cut in half, and that's fine.
But
I just am like, you either needed another issue or to not have taken so much time.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, Skinner is not compelling or interesting. He's cool and scary, but
I got it.
But he's cool and scary. He's exactly as cool and scary as he was in the first issue when you told everything you needed to do about him.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this issue should have been the second issue.
Yeah.
Like we could have maybe condensed the first and the second into more of
Peter spent way too much time at the Daily Bugle with J. Jonah Jameson for the last 2 issues, and there's a lot of Predator and not a lot of Spider-Man. There's more Kraven than Spider-Man at this point.
Not even because
Kraven again, he's been looking around. No, it's true.
He kept the city blacked out.
Yeah,
right?
It is.
In which, by the way, there's no way the zoo would be open. Can we just talk about that? First of all, good on y'all for using the tiger exhibit or the whatever at the Bronx Zoo, specifically referencing the Bronx Zoo, not making it look exactly like Tiger Mountain does, but making it have the glass like it absolutely does. Which I was like, oh, that's actually good call. That zoo would not be open.
No.
There's a rolling blackout throughout the city, or there's just a blackout in the city. There's no way they're opening that up. How would
it's like the hottest time of the year?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's just no way.
I don't know.
There's just no way. And also, when did that happen?
Right.
So they don't keep the animals on exhibit overnight.
No.
Right? They don't. They bring them inside. Then the keepers come. They check the exhibit. I watched the zoo. I'll have you all know. They go in. They check the exhibits. They make sure everything's safe, and then they'll let an animal out, which meant that tiger was skinned while it was on exhibit.
Yes. What?
I don't know. Anyway.
I don't know. It's weird. I think that every issue delivers what it should have. Every issue is delivered.
Yeah.
Everything that I've seen is something that I've wanted to see. But it shouldn't have been 4 issues. It should have been 6 or 3. It needed to be condensed.
I think it could have been 5.
It could have been 5. I think it needed to be condensed.
Pacing, it could have been 5.
The pacing is off. On this title.
Yes. But I think it's just that Percy really likes the lore of the Yautja.
Yautja.
I like Yautja.
I know, but it's Yautja.
Well, I'm going.
According to Ben Percy, and he's the Yautja expert.
Well,
he has a doctorate in Yautology. So I agree with you entirely that the pacing is off.
Yeah.
The art's been great. The story is fine. The story, the concept is cool. Skinner's not cool enough to be to be built up this much.
He's not, and the promise of Kraven and Spider-Man and Predators fighting should not be just one issue.
No, we needed an issue of Kraven fighting a Predator. We needed an issue of Spider-Man fighting a Predator. We needed the Skinner to beat Spider-Man, but Spider-Man to barely get away. There's so much in here that is almost Predator 2. There's so much that I've said this should be like Batman Predator. It's 3 issues. We get everything. Batman vs. Predator is the second best Predator movie ever made. And yet 3 issues, and it's still unparalleled since 1990. But they do it all. They get everything. But my point is they get everything in there. It's 3 issues. We still don't even know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, and I guess I'm also mildly annoyed only because it's here's the thing. I really can't be annoyed because I can't even believe we have this. But I am annoyed because I'm but it will not be done again.
Yeah.
And so
we could get a Predator versus Spider-Man 2. Okay. And I would like that, but that should not feel like a redo.
If Kraven dies.
Oh, well, but this is another universe. You could do another Predator versus Spider-Man.
In a different universe?
In another universe. In the main universe.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I just expected a little bit more of this. But I don't know. I guess here's what I assume is going to happen. They're all going to fight at the end, and essentially, the Kraven is going to peel off the 3 Predators, maybe from Spider-Man, while Spider-Man deals with the other one. But he's not going to take them out.
Yeah,
that's not going to happen. Right. So
I doubt it. I doubt you're going to see. I don't even think Kraven's going to beat a Predator.
That's a shame.
It is a shame. So that was Predator versus Spider-Man. Apparently, we have breaking news that Jim Shooter passed away.
Aww.
And I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah.
Having met Jim Shooter a couple times, you having almost worked with Jim Shooter once or twice, and his contributions and his affability. I know that he had a very controversial relationship with his staff when he was editor-in-chief of Marvel, and when he ran Defiant and Valiant and created Valiant. And man, what a shame. What a loss. 73 years old. Fantastic creative force. Dude got into comics, like was writing comic books at the age of 12.
Wow.
Yeah. And loved comics. Bled ink. Dude was, whether you agreed with his decisions or not, and I have been on record having definitely disagreed with his decisions a lot of the time, but I also celebrated his contributions and his contributions. What a fantastic creative force, and what a shame. Oh well, that's really too bad. I'm really sad to hear that. Oh, moving on. We got, oh man. So here's this weird book that came out of nowhere, and I was like, why did you do this? New History of the DC Universe from Mark Waid and Jerry Ordway and Todd Nauck. This is a mini-series that is going to be like, this is the history of the DC Universe. This is the timeline now.
Right.
We're going to 0 hour this. We're going to show you the timeline and go like, this is our official canon. This is what happened. This is what happened in the succession. Let's go. Written by Barry Allen in the future. So there's like a narrative through line. And then after it's over, there's like another thing. It's like, that was Barry Allen's story. We had to kind of do like a narrative thing. But here is the actual time. And then it's like, it's a friggin' like documented, like annotated, like text-based with a couple of pictures punctuating it. And the first issue ends with the destruction of Krypton. As does the timeline. So you have to buy more of the book to continue the story / history. Really, really comprehensive, easy to read, easy to understand, easy to follow, 100% absolutely necessary.
I didn't read it.
I know. I'm just saying. If you want to know, if you want to understand the mythology, the cosmology, the history of the DC universe, read this. It reads really well.
Okay.
It's an excellent tome that will be referenced until they mess it up again.
Okay.
I am sad that Perpetua is on the first page.
I'm sorry.
That's what happens, when you do this. So, anyway, what else we got? Is this it?
I think this is it, my
Ultimate
friend.
Spider-Man number 18. Jonathan Hickman, Marco Cicchetto. Spider-Man has to go home. That's the story. Harry arrives in, the Southwest to pick up Pete. Pete and Harry have to go into New York to, I guess, take down the Kingpin. Is that their plan?
Yeah.
Okay. There's like many issues, nothing really happens. Pete and Harry go to New York. Richard sneaks along with them. And Gwen and the Mysterios argue with each other about how they claim to be this like force that is going to like reveal the truth to the world, but they haven't done anything in years. So what are we going to do about it? And so Gwen's like, that's what I'm here for. And so that's what we get, Richard, of course, is enamored with the Black Cat and is catfished into going back to New York, where he may be murdered by the Kingpin. We'll find out. But we do see a little indication that, like, obviously because Dennis Camp and Cody Ziegler have established that Richard Parker thinks that, like, Miles Morales is the coolest person in the universe, and Miles Morales says that he's Venom. He's Venom now. Richard likes the name, and although the audience already kind of picked up on it, like the suit, when he's angry, when he's like viscerally upset at like the betrayal by the sudden but inevitable betrayal by Black Cat, you see his suit start to form venomous tendrils as though the suit is reacting to his emotions.
Right.
So we're going to get probably a mouth out of this at some point. Like, we're going to get our Venom, our ultimate Venom out of this. So yeah, it's very interesting to see like the direction of this book, which is sometimes at a snail's pace, but also jumps a month. I don't know if this issue is going to jump a month, like the next issue.
Right.
We'll see. But yeah, So, what are your thoughts?
This book is just really good.
Yeah.
I was like so pissed off at Richard in this issue.
Yeah.
1,000%, but I totally understood him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Obviously, he's like, I have to be like my dad. I got to go help.
I got to go help this person.
I got to go help.
And
this
I
person.
like her. I care about her.
Exactly. And I want to show off a little bit.
That's
and
true.
Like, listen, I know what's up. I know what's up. It's like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No, you don't. Because none of us do. None of us did, and none of us do. I love Ben and Jonah coming to help. I love that moment of their reveal and having to live in a essentially a mobile home. Like Jonah having to he's like, oh,
I don't want to do that.
Okay. I don't want to. All right, fine. Watching, Pete and Harry get to swing around the city and beat up a bunch of bad guys.
Yeah, that's there's a moment where they're waiting and they have an hour to kill. And so they, we see essentially probably the equivalent of 5 issues worth of fights in 5 panels.
Yeah.
They fight Vermin and Hammerhead. We see an homage to Spidey dealing with the trouble on campus issue and the return of Ultimate Shocker.
Yeah.
Okay. It was cool. It's a great montage, but I'm also like, that would have been fun to see.
Right? No, for sure.
You did see it. It was a whole panel.
Oh,
that's right. And of course,
yeah.
Pete's like, I'm gonna go back to my apartment really quick, and he's like, oh, I wouldn't, because Otto's living there.
Yeah, I love that moment for Peter too.
Yeah,
where he's so upset, and that Otto is just
unapologetic,
and he's like, yeah, I'm wearing your slippers. Yeah. I also like the fact that it's that might be an indication that because Harry's like, hey, I get it totally. I probably shouldn't have given him all that information, but I just want to make sure you're taken care of. And Pete's just like, I'm really upset, but I know you're right.
Yep,
and
exactly.
I just need you to know that I'm not mad at you. I'm just upset at the situation. And I'm like,
that's very mature.
Look at these adults being adults.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
And being able to communicate, which is what I wish more of us could do. Sometimes,
yes.
they make it work really well.
Yep.
I love that moment with MJ. It's we don't really get the face of tiger, you hit the jackpot kind of moment, but I do love that moment where, they're Pete and Harry are about to leave, and she's like, "You two need a speech or something." That has the same energy to me, where she's just like,
Well, you could feel Hickman writing that, where he's writing the speech, and it's not hitting the way he wants, and he's like, "Do you need a speech?" And they're like, "No." And actually, it's funny because Pete's like, "I'm always down for an MJ speech," and Harry's like, "No, you do not. We don't have time for this.
We are good. We have to leave. Goodbye."
Yeah. It's cool.
She's doing the best she can with what she's got going on here right now with the family.
This book actually is really great at depicting confident women.
Yes.
Look at these two, because Gwen and MJ, 2 confident women who are sure about their place in the universe. How nice to see. Watch them go. One is a Mysterio who's trying to blow up the world or whatever, but
no, she's trying to save it.
But I get it. You know what? I get her motivations.
Yeah. 1,000%.
So it's cool.
It is. I like this issue. I don't know what else to say. Other than I liked it, but I'm so Richard. We finally Peter and Harry are finally on the offense, and Richard's freaking hormones just completely undermine everything, and I'm so mad at him.
I know. And I'm really worried about the time jump. I want to see what happens next, and I'm worried that we're not going to.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
It also looked great.
And it looked great. Yeah, Kiketto is just crushing it.
1,000%.
Great book. Fantastic stuff.
Such a great book.
Just really, really mature.
Yes.
Just a great series overall. Let's read some super chats, and then we'll recommend books that are coming out this week that you should check out. Bear Farmer, when are we going to do Back Issues Ultimates 2? I don't know. It's going to be a long time.
My goodness. Oh, me. Tea Time 480 says my fave anime birthday is Levi Ackerman's birthday on Christmas Day. Too bad his character's ending is utterly terrible. I digress. Wishing you both well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Lexa Power, thanks for your generosity. Hi, guys. You guys are alive on my birthday today. Happy birthday, Lexa Power.
Not alive, just live.
Yeah. Sorry.
R.
Shares a birthday with Usagi.
Nice.
Ultimate Spider-Man is still good in my eyes. I will continue to read it till it ends. Yeah, me too.
That's happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. Matthew Terlaga, thank you very much for your generosity as well.
Very much so. Caught your discussion about Back to the Future yesterday. If they did a new movie, it should be it should be about the second Marty, the one who fucks off in the DeLorean, and then Marty takes over his life.
Mm-hmm.
It has the makings of a very somber movie.
Yeah, Back to the Future is not supposed to be somber. I'm good. I'm good on any Back to the Future follow-ups whatsoever. I have not read the comic book series outside of like one issue, but I'm good. I'm really good. Okay. I love Back to the Future. I'm happy.
Okay.
What we got, and the conversation we had, which is from No Comic Required, our other podcast, which you can check out on this channel as well, which comes out pretty much on a monthly basis at this point. I was like, should they have made a Back to the Future like in 1993, like when they would have made one? I do not. Not only do I never want a Back to the Future follow-up, I would especially never want one starting from now or going into the future.
Okay.
Like I would hate to see them now.
Okay.
It's just something I don't want to see. But if you're interested in seeing like duplicate DeLoreans and stuff like that, again, there's a huge Telltale game, which I don't like, but it is a very aggressive and it's an aggressive follow-up to the series.
Okay. Like aggressive.
New Doc Prime, Marvel Mystic Mayhem game has Sleepwalker playable. Neat. That's awesome.
You love Sleepwalker.
I do love Sleepwalker. I'm thrilled to see that. I was putting together what the hell that was. Is that fighting game?
Mayhem? I don't know that one.
I don't know.
I think it might be.
I think they're like teasing it. Like it hasn't really, like we haven't seen any. Like we've seen like a little bit of it. Yeah, that's great.
Girk Pectus, I liked The Thing comic book where he has to protect his old bully from Bullseye/Kingpin. Any powerful heroes you'd want to see fight street level villains?
I don't know. I mean, like
Sleepwalker? No, kidding.
Yeah, Sleepwalker. No, he used to do that. It was really lame. But yeah, I like seeing The Thing fighting like Bullseye. It was funny to see. Yeah.
I like watching like the few times it's happened where Doctor Strange has to deal with like street level individuals.
Yeah, that'd be
just
cool.
like he's like,
I agree. There was
You're
fun.
gonna punch me,
right?
Okay.
I liked seeing Reed fight Dr. Octopus, and of course Eric Larson depicted, and Dave McElhinney, the Hulk fighting Doc Ock. I would like to see the Hulk, like Smart Hulk, probably fight any of Spider-Man's rogues. That'd be cool to see. Bear Farmer, I've sent that new Fantastic Four short to so many people, and of course you'll be making one this style of short once a week. Yes, no, but thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it. No, we're not going to do that a lot. It takes a lot of effort for some reason. But yeah, thank you very much for checking it out.
You should do it though.
Yeah,
then they would probably get more.
I don't have a lot of conversations like that. It needs to be like funny and also
true.
like short,
funny.
Yeah.
Hoaxilla, Reed Richards is a menace, and we are appreciative of your efforts to share this vital information with the public. Sincerely, a Latverian citizen.
Thank you. Psycho Red, I'll always be thankful you don't run incontinent ads. Thank you.
Matt Fisher, oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
If Marvel cancels Ultimate Universe, then Force really does work.
Yes, it's true.
Also, now that you did Fantastic Four or Force Works on the couch, I vote for the new joke to be how long it has taken Greg Rucka to release maybe 30 issues of Lazarus until Century is the hero to end One World Under Doom. Make mine ComicPop.
Yeah, you're never going to see Century again. Thank you very much.
Not that Century.
Not that Century.
Century.
Yeah, Century.
Century.
Yeah, the 100-year-old superhero.
Freaking that guy, man.
Sucks.
He does suck.
Zilly Goose, thanks a lot. It's another bummer series, but if you're enjoying Dennis Camp's Absolute Martian Manhunter series, have either of you checked out Assorted Crisis Events from Image? Very topical. I've heard. I'm good. I'm good on Dennis Camp being topical. I don't need another, I don't need an indie series that's even more on the nose. I'm good.
I'm living it right now.
I'm living it right now. I don't need Dennis Camp's point. I can just follow him on Twitter.
Leon, here's the thing that might support you.
Thank you very much, Leon. Appreciate it, man. Flex Luther, not sure if it was answered, but did Tiffany ever read Death of the Silver Surfer #1? I know Sal wasn't a fan, but I was wondering about her thoughts. Interesting.
I did not, because I completely forgot, but that's I should.
Fair. And it wasn't because I told her not to. She just forgot.
I just completely forgot about that. I guess I should check that out, because I was like, that sounds like something I want to read.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read this?
Cat lawyer will defend retreats as someone clinically depressed. Absolute Martian scratches the same part of my brain that depressing animes. Also, Fantastic Four final issue was great run.
Oh yeah, I'm sad to hear that it's over. That's a real shame. But thank you for that. Bear Farmer in JLU and the Flash. Who was the Flash with no cowl, t-shirt, and knee pads? Thought he could be from Absolute Future. They focused on him a bit, and I was like, huh? That's Flash Year One. That's Barry Allen from the Year One book that Williamson wrote.
Nice. Arduit says, C-Pop, woo! Started World Tree. Tynan is ridiculous. I forgot about that book. I started that a while back. I think we're several volumes in. Oops.
Andre F. Hey, Tiffany, have you watched the movie K-Pop Demon Hunters on Netflix? It's given Sailor Moon vibes and more if you haven't seen it. If you have seen it, any thoughts?
I haven't seen it, but I'm very well aware of it. I was actually watching a different series I wanted to wrap up recently on there, but now that that's done, and it's just a movie, I might check it out. I've heard like people love it, and then I've heard some people wishing it, like they didn't love the story, they didn't think it was very consistent, or it wasn't like enough, and maybe it should have been a series. But since it's just a movie, it seems endlessly watchable.
Yeah, I agree.
It's the K-pop stars, or they're demon hunters who are also K-pop stars.
I've heard of this. Carlitos Figueroa, love Superman by Josh Williamson. Can't wait for Zod to show up, as they've been hinting it for a while. Can't wait. I agree. Yeah, it's gonna be fun to see. He's pissed.
Bear Farmer says Flash gets Batman to do loop-de-loops this book.
I know.
Chef's kiss.
That's book. Jamie Wild. Hey, Sal and Tiffany. Hope you two are well. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
If you two could have any art piece with two characters in it, who would you want? Just thinking for fun.
What's yours?
I don't know. Sailor Moon and Moon Knight.
You're such a liar. You got that already.
Did we?
Well, not that. You're such a liar. You want Batman and Spider-Man.
I have that.
Batman and a Predator.
Yeah, Batman versus no. I don't know.
Spider-Man versus a Predator.
Yeah.
Is that what you want?
I think I'd rather see Spider-Man and the Tick. That'd be fun.
I mean, I immediately was just like, well, obviously Doctor Strange and Constantine.
Yeah.
And then my room was like, Constantine and Pyramid Head.
Yeah. Pyramid Head. That'd be something. Constantine in Silent Hill. There you go. That'd be great.
Matt Fisher says, can we get a couch into the new universe?
That would be tough. Not impossible. Thank you. Bear Farmer, I remember when DC did a timeline book about after 0 Hour, found it in my dad's long box as a kid, and it felt like discovering a map to ancient treasure. It is not treasure, but that's really sweet. What do you think is more likely? The suit outsmarts Kingpin and they escape? The suit decides the best route is to go along with it? And finally, he also says, are you reading Spider-Man, Wolverine, Civil War, the movie, the book? The artist sketch is stretchy. Okay, so that's awesome. I love that you discovered that. I'm sorry that like about a week after the issue came out, it was completely irrelevant, but like it was still fun to see. It's actually printed in the original trade paperbacks for 0 Hour. It's cool to see that. I have no idea what to expect about what's going to happen. I just know that I won't be right if I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
As far as the suit getting him away.
Yeah.
And finally, I read the first issue of Spider-Man and Wolverine, and I'm good.
Okay.
I am good.
Okay. New Dog Prime come back saying it's a mobile game with Nightmare as the bad guy.
Oh, okay, the mobile game. I'm sorry. That's cool. I love that Sleepwalker's being used at all. That's great. And Nightmare, that's awesome too. That's a good use of those two
they're always
characters.
like, oh yeah, Nightmare.
Exactly.
Good pull.
What's your book of the week?
I think it's Ultimate Spider-Man this week. I really liked it, and like I really had like a real reaction to the whole Richard thing. So I'm like, I think it's that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think
that's
it's
fair.
that.
That's tough, man. I want to give a special shout out to the new history of the DC universe because it's really cool that they did that. But I think it's got to go to Ultimate Spider-Man as well. I think Ultimate Spider-Man just crushed it. It was a great book, firing on all cylinders. It's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's recommend some comics. But before we do that, I want to remind folk that based on Christian Ward's appearance on today's show, if you are interested in checking out Event Horizon Dark Descent #1, it's a 5-issue mini. The first issue pre-order deadline is July 14th. So by July 14th, that's the last date you can pre-order the book, but it will go on sale almost a month later, August 20th. is when the first issue will drop. So check out that book from Christian Ward and Tristan Jones.
I mean, if you like cosmic horror.
If you like cosmic horror, you're going to enjoy this
Probably.
because that's what Event Horizon is all about.
Oh, yeah.
So let's see some books that are coming out this week.
Let's do it.
Ultimate Wolverine number 7. Yay.
I mean, I would have said that, but fine.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that book before you did. Yeah.
That's true.
Absolute Green Lantern number 4 is dropping as well.
Yep. Amazing Spider-Man 7. We're going to see more about Hellgate. I mean, do I recommend this? It's still well written, but we'll see what it ends up being. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably going to be dropped pretty soon.
Ooh, okay.
But Captain America number 1 is dropping, and that is from Chip Zdarsky with art by Valerio Schiti.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's a great combo.
I agree. Birds of Prey 23. This is a book that I kind of dropped. I'm sorry, but I'll recommend it because it's a good book.
Okay.
You?
Me?
None of these?
No. I mean, Godzilla versus Thor is coming out.
It's neat.
Wait, what's the Hellfire Vigil?
Right?
wait, what's
Krakoa.
this?
Oh
wait.
my god. Oh, Mario Ayodele.
Oh, it's a bunch of people. Hey, Jeff Thorne.
Wow. Jackson Lansing, Colin Kelly, Gail Simone, Jed McKay, Alex Packnadell.
It seems like it's all the new folks.
Yeah, all the new folks are doing like a kind of Hellfire Gala thing. Neat.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, we'll see what that's all about.
Interesting.
Yeah. Resurrection Man Quantum Karma number 4 is coming out. It's a great series. If you liked Resurrection Man 30 years ago, you're going to enjoy the series. Check it out.
Oh. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2. Number 2 is dropping this week. Exciting.
Yep. Bring on the Bad Guys. Green Goblin number 1 is coming out. This is a book from Ethan Parker and Griffin Sheridan, who dropped by the show not too long ago. Matteo Delafonte to promote this series and more. But yeah, they're working on that book, and I'm going to check it out.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. There's going to be a book called Wolverines and Deadpool. That's neat.
Deadpools.
Yep. Oh, dead pools. Oh.
Multiple pools.
Many
pools.
Yes.
Check out the pools.
Deep pools.
You're going by so fast. If you're reading that Godzilla heist book, issue 5 is dropping, so you might want to check that out if you've been into the Godzilla stuff from IDW.
Yep.
Which your cup runneth over in a great way.
It's true. Yeah, you got plenty of Godzilla to choose from. I think that's it.
Well, I mean, last time I missed the... just going to take a peek. Yeah, I think you're right, though. Okay.
Yeah, there you have it. There was also a little bit of news, but we don't have time to talk about it. That Daniel Warren Johnson's leaving Transformers, and so instead, Robert Kirkman's going to write it, and Dan Mora is going to draw it. So
is he not going to be doing DC books?
I think he's gonna. I think he might leave. We'll see. Dan Mora's great at like balancing, but I would not.
But that's balancing across like companies at that point.
I know.
Ooh.
And it's a competitor, so I don't know.
Eek.
I'm very concerned. I wasn't reading Transformers anyway, so this isn't going to get me to pick it up. Sorry. I'll pick it up later, maybe.
Damn.
But with Danny Warren Johnson leading Transformers, that means he's working on something awesome. So I can't wait to see what Danny Warren Johnson is cooking up after he
that's so true.
Gets his bearings. So yeah.
Maybe they're just switching. Maybe he's going to DC for a bit. Back to DC for a bit.
That'd be cool. But yeah. So big old thanks to our super chatters for sponsoring today's show. Thanks to the chat for being cool. Dex Baker has something to say.
One of the first editors I knew by name when I started reading comics was the notorious Jim Shooter. In his honor, what's an editorial mandate you'd make at Marvel right now?
Oh man, I mean, like just for the good of the world, there'd be a big Spider-Man shakeup. Let's put it that way. But there'd probably be no more double shipping.
Yeah,
that'd be a hard and fast like Shooter-esque declaration of like books come out monthly. End of story. And probably some kind of like a James Gunnian kind of request, like, I want to see a script before any new series are launched.
Yeah, and I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't even know what I would have them like my mandate would be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's like it's like check-ins, you know what I mean? Like between like inter offices. Cause like the idea is that like there are different offices within, right? Like, and and just have it be where it's like, you know, listen, editors, you do a lot of work out there. You absolutely do. And sometimes obviously the creators need a little help and need a little guidance, but let the creators create.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like looser editorial control would be nice.
But more editorial eyes on things after, like,
oh yeah,
you check for
stricter
things.
Yes.
Make sure they make sense.
It'd be a frustrating time for editors where it's like you have to do your jobs, but you don't get to be as creative.
Yeah.
Sorry. But you didn't get into this job to write. So, you know. But yeah, Jim Shooter will be missed. I loved running into him at cons. I tried at every chance I could to talk to him.
Yeah.
When I would be at conventions. He's a very busy guy. And so, you know, despite the fact that we've invited him on the show before, we just never made it work.
Yeah.
Which I'm really bummed about because, like, he was always fun to talk to in person. It would have been really fun to talk to on the show. But, you know, my deepest thoughts and feelings go out to his family and friends who knew him best. And, like, that's a true loss from our vantage point here, but, you know, deeper and more heartfelt loss to the people who knew him best. So thank you, Jim Shooter, for your contributions. We will miss you. And thank you to everybody here for being respectful and cool in the comments and chat. And we'll see you guys next time with another episode. Of course, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and you know, check out more things we have here. We have a whole podcast that dropped just this past Friday. There's a lot of stuff over on youtube.com/ComicPop. There's a whole other channel, youtube.com/ComicPop Plays, where Tiffany plays video games live occasionally. So check that out as well. You should definitely check out those streams because they're really fun, and there's a whole plethora of them on that channel as well. Of course, every video and channel we have are in the description below this video, so check that out as well. Anything else going on?
I got nothing.
Well, then we'll see you guys next week with another episode. I'm Sal.
And I'm Tiffany.
So long, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.